Fire Department. Is there anybody here from Eli? They got a award. Susan put in a grant for them to, that truck that they came in and asked money for. They needed $20,000 or something, 2080 or something, is that right?
20,800.
Okay, 20,800. So she put that in, they matched that money, so they got 100% of it instead of us doing the 10 that we were going to do to help them. They got all of it. So next up is the first reading of the ordinance 2507 side-by-side vehicles.
The Russell County Fiscal Court relating to the street legal special purpose vehicles, whereas 2025 Kentucky Acts, Chapter 89, hereinafter the Act, became law on March 26, 2025, and allows for the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on highways within the Commonwealth of Kentucky if allowed by ordinance of the local government within those jurisdictions and boundaries.
Any discussion?
Has they got any age limit on the occupants on the side-by-sides? I know, but I'm talking about any of the
Passengers, occupants, no.
Could we put one on that, or?
Well, say if I did, I don't even have kids, but say if I was in the lived outside of Jamestown, I wanted to ride to town, and I had my 3 or 4 year old kid with me, who's gonna keep them? You can't take them.
I'll agree, we're talking about off-road vehicles here to start with, this is not highway legal vehicles.
They're highway legal now if you make them.
Well, I know, but we're making them highway legal, they're not built highway legal.
All over the county, though, what?
It may die, but I'm gonna make a motion that that be 16 or older to be an occupant in them. That's,
Need a second? Motion dies. Second. Next up is Daniel Wilson, Director of Tourism.
We received our 2024 economic impact numbers. Our total economic impact grew by 13.6%. To $5.51 million. Last year, or 2023, it was 48.5. So from 23 to 24, it was the biggest increase that we have had in a decade. I said we do have our 2026 fishing tournament coming. We're working hard on it already. And we're expecting 4,000 to 5,000 visitors from 48 states and 2 countries. June 2026, it'll be like the 20th through the 28th. Our hotels and Airbnbs are already getting booked up. We have discount codes from a lot of them.
How come they won't let you up? Me and Randy's talking about it this morning. I brought it up to him about parking on that concrete wall all the way to the dam. You know, they could park over. I know
So
that's a Corps.
The Corps, we have been
Won't let them do it?
many conversations with the Corps over the last year about parking and outcomes. That's where they,
Yeah.
so the Corps, we went down there and they did give us access to 6 acres of the, is it called the spoils? Is that what I called it? The spoils, it's behind the new oxygenation plant
Yeah.
on the left. It's just this big open field. They are and drive to the fairgrounds, which is good for Russell Springs because you're getting all of those people into the city that may not, you know, if they're staying in Somerset, they're gonna have to come to Russell Springs. So I don't mind that idea. I think it's better for us as a whole.
Fish will die.
We're just, well, they're in, this is what I told them too, Fish and
Yeah.
Wildlife. They're in the live well, whether you're driving 30 minutes on the water or 30 minutes off the water.
Yeah.
So to me, there's no big difference in the fish being in the live well, on the water or off the water.
Next, Russell County Recovery.
Oh, Billy Dykes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, before we started, I want to thank you all for your previous contributions for allowing us to keep Russell County Recovery Room going. We're really grateful for that. But unfortunately, we don't have a very profitable margin of people that come there, and we're going to ask and see if we could get a continuance of what you all gave us before.
How many people have you got coming, Sam?
Well, it depends on which nights you come, but there's nights it's standing room only. Yeah, but unfortunately, these people are homeless, and some of them are getting their life back together, and when it comes to the contribution for it to help support the police, they don't exist.
Next is the 2025 spay and neuter grant program. We've been giving them $1,500. I just, for what it's doing to help us in the county, I'd like
I'd make a
to see if we
motion.
can raise that up to 2,000 if we could. It's $500.
Well, if you're gonna do the hazard pay, is that what you're thinking?
Well, yeah, I think we need to figure out how we do the hazardous duty pay. And
We do the hazard duty pay. The only way I would even agree to do it is to fee pool the money. That's the only way I'm gonna agree on it. I'm just one, but that's the only way I'll agree to it. Because Derek, you've lost a lot of employees. I don't know what to deal with, but gosh, you've lost a lot.
Well, like I said, hazardous duty some we've had to get rid of because I didn't like the way they was treating the people of Russell County. My personal opinion is, I would like to see all of them have average duty pay, but I can't see fee pooling or giving control to the fiscal court, total control of my office. I don't think it's best for my office or the people of Russell County.
So you don't think it's good for have hazardous pay?
I think it's good to have hazardous duty, just not, with the fee pooling and taking control of my office.
I'll make a motion that we do it. I might not get a second, and then if it's,
Second.
and then Kevin can write it up and we'll go from there.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Yeah, the thing is that once we vote and once we change it, there is no going back. So it's done. I'm like, once we go to hazardous duty pay, this county will always have hazardous duty pay, regardless of who's in office.
Right.
So,
I've got good girls and staff in my office, and I want to see them to keep their job, and I still think, that I shouldn't have to come and beg for, a box of pencils every time we come around, or, beg for equipment that we need or whatever. We collected over $70-something million since 2018 with the sheriff's office, and every penny was accounted for. And like I said, I think the people of Russell County ain't gonna like it, because like I said, they voted me to do a job as sheriff and not the fiscal court as far as that office. And I think the voters of Russell County in November time, whenever, will have an issue with that.
Well, they may have an issue with you too. as
They
far as
may
that
do it.
goes.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know. All of us, we're all
Right,
elected officials.
Exactly.
We've been asked to take in Rowena Marina, a road over there, and it's in Russell County, but you gotta go through Wayne and Clinton to get to it. It's 9/10 of a mile is what we have. There's a road over there, and they're trying to do some economic development. They want to name it Tony Sloan Way because Tony Sloan started all that over there, and of course he just passed. I want to ask about Greasy Creek. The city of Jamestown has said that they will annex it in so that the city of Jamestown can patrol it on a regular basis. What I'd like to ask to do is to be able to blacktop those two little roads. So all I want to do is resurface it.
This used to be the mayor of Russell Springs, and if you go over and you see the city park and you look at it and you think of it, this is the guy who started it, got the money for it, and helped us get it where it's at today. Joel, we want to give you an Honorable Joel S. Wilford, a Russell Springs anchor. We've been doing this, just giving a few, and we're trying to make it for special people that's made a difference in the community.
Since March 2023, we have been doing the low-cost spay-neuter clinics. And the Russell County Animal Welfare League, since that time, has spayed and neutered, which, as you probably know, is the surgery that stops animals from being able to have babies, 801 dogs and cats. So that's 317 female cats, 251 male cats, 133 female dogs, and 100 male dogs. So if we took those numbers and we assumed that each of those animals we fixed would have had a litter of babies, let's say a litter of 5, and that they would have reproduced 3 times in their lifetimes, which could be a low number. Of course, not all of them would survive. That's 12,000 animals we've prevented from being part of the overpopulation problem.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So I'm providing some information on the disaster loan program that we are offering here in Russell County to your homeowners and your renters, as well as to the businesses. So I'm with the Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery. You may have seen us over the years. We come in when there's a declared disaster. And folks have until next week.
This is Resolution 2025-11. It's authorizing resolution for filing a funding application. Chris has got it's about the $5.2 million we've been working on for the tower and for the water lines from Fruit of the Loom to the hospital. And this is what we went to Washington for. So, Chris, you want to read that?
Resolution 2025, motion carries.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, council. That's 2, 5, 6, 7, it's close to $8 million we're gonna get in grants. They say going to Washington and Frankfurt don't help. Yeah.
I move that the city council enter into executive section pursuant to KRS 61.8101B for deliberations on the future acquisition of sale or real property by the city of Russell Springs, where publicity would be likely to affect the value of a specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by the city.
I have a motion. I move that we authorize Mayor Eddie Thomas to negotiate the potential sale of the real property owned by the city of Russell Springs with a prospective buyer in accordance with the parameters discussed in the executive session, and to bring back the terms of any proposed agreement to the city council for review and possible final approval.
Yep.
Okay. For the month of July, we got a total of 5 DUIs. There were 28 warrants served, 37 traffic stops made, 119 traffic charges cited, 20 of those were for speeding, 21 traffic accidents investigated, 20 motor assists, 17 alarms. We made a total of 57 arrests and 599 total calls for service.
This next thing is dear to my heart, and we would probably come back to the council if we need a little money, but I think it's gonna be the lower ball field over as you go up the hill. The first one where T-ball and Pee-wee plays. We're talking about making that going in there, and while we're in the process of it, and dig all the grass and dirt out and put turf in there and make that for special needs kids only. So they don't have nothing but Special Olympics here for them to do, and we figure if we go in there and do that, we can have soccer in the spring for them and soccer in the fall for them, and then have baseball in the summer for them. And it would be where there are no bases sticking up out of the ground. The bases would be in turf, and for wheelchairs could roll over them. And it's just something that we need to do for the community and for the people in Russell Springs and Russell County, you know.
Anyway, the first thing on our business is the Resolution 2025-03, and this is a resolution where we have applied through the Lake Cumberland Area Development District in Russell Springs for a grant to replace the chlorine with bleach down at the water plant. And this is something that we applied a little while back for, but it's got to be passed through a resolution to continue working to try to get it. And its main purpose that, you know, we're thinking of trying to do that is safety purposes down the road. Resolution 2025-04, and this is a resolution back, I don't know how long back, we applied for a grant to replace all the water meters in town, and it's over 900,000. I believe it's like 916 or 918,000. And at the time when we applied for that grant, there was a 20% match that the city would have had to put into, if we get that grant, then we'd have had to put 20% in. A little ways through that, they raised that amount. Well, when it was 20%, we applied for that. Well, then the state come in and raised that amount to, it was going to be a 30% match instead of a 20% match. So at that point, even if we got the 20% match that we applied for, then we would have still had to put in 10%, which would have been around $96,000. But now they have a new grant open up that is the same kind of grant that we were approved for the match, but it covers that other 10%. So next thing we have is our event that we have coming up in October. I'm sure everybody's heard a little bit about Jeeps Are Wild, and so we just kind of want to update where we're at on that. I think Tony's got some more information. And
we met with all of the committee, the two from Jeeps Are Wild, and me and Barry met last week. Regina had to be out of town for the DLG conference in Louisville, so she couldn't be there. But we had a meeting with them. They had this page of basically the rules that they had come up with. So, you know, I would think we need to maybe have HK draw up a joint waiver that covers us both.
That the participants will sign?
Yes.
In case they wreck?
Yes.
All that stuff, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
There's something else kind of along those lines. Riders must be present to receive any winnings. Prizes will be awarded for first and second best hand and worst hand. And they kind of threw a curveball at me on that one. But what they were thinking was, instead of doing the first three hands, to do the first two best hands, and then use the third prize money to give to the worst hand, whoever had the worst hand. And I think it's a good idea, but I think we've decided that we would just go ahead and do the first three like we talked about, and then add a worst hand. And Barry's got a sponsor to pay it's going to be $100 for the worst hand, whoever gets the worst hand. So Barry's going to come up with a sponsor to cover that. So there will actually be first, second, third, and then the worst hand.
Next thing I have is just, and I don't know a whole lot about this, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit of what I know, and then we'll find out more, because this is actually something that Les just wanted me to bring up. We need to purchase a camera for the sewer lines, which is what they use to go down in the lines and see down in the lines, what's going on, how the lines are, what's happening with them. I mean, I guess they use it really often. We have to borrow one now or rent one.
Good evening. My name is Mike Borchers. I'm the Director of Membership Management for Bluegrass Risk Management. I have Justin Moore and David Kendrick, who are our Assured Partners agents that's going to serve the district here. Over the next year, we want the insurance rates continue to raise, even though a lot of claims aren't going on in districts.
Is when we look at insurance policy, right? It's the premium paid in versus the losses paid out. And of all the 37 districts that we moved to our program, you all were the best when it came from losses paid out. You guys over 5 years had $80,000 in losses, and that's taken into account from educators' losses to bus losses. So you are a very, very good district. Mr. Grider, maintenance, food service, finance, you all are highly, highly proactive and do an incredible job of wanting to do what's right from the school to keep it safe. We got tired as agents of delivering good districts like you 20 to 25% increases every year, and we said there's got to be a better way.
My biggest goal for being an educator for 29 years is to be able to come back and work with superintendents and let them have money to do things in their district versus paying for something at a higher cost. And that was so frustrating to me when I had to pay certain things like insurance. So that's our goal. When I said an investment, it's not, you're going to see some very short-term benefits, but the goal is, as a board, you're setting your district up for years to come to have an opportunity to do things through your insurance program that you will never be able to do if you stay in the programs that you're in now. So.
Just briefly go over our K-12 enrollment so far. We ended, I'll tell you the 5 schools and I'll tell you the district total. This is comparing the numbers from the last day of school last year until, as of Friday, when we have most everybody back.
So K-12, not preschool, because that's
K-12.
still getting enrolled and lining out.
Just K-12. So last year, Jamestown Elementary ended the year at 449, and as of Friday, they were at 440, which is down about 9 students. Russell County High School ended the year at 822 students, and they are up 20 to 842. Russell County Middle School ended the year at 642 students, and they are up to 648, which is an increase of 6. Russell Springs Elementary ended the year at 577 students, and they're up to 582, so that's an increase of 5. And then Salem Elementary fluctuated a little bit. They were at 382, and they're down to 368, which is a negative 14. But overall, as a district, for K-12 enrollment, we ended the year at 2,872 students, and currently we have 2,880, which is up 8. So we're holding steady. And when you throw preschool in with that next week, we'll be right over the 3,000 mark again. Which is
We're going to talk about the BG2, which is the outline specification for the energy design criteria, and the BG3, which is statement of probable cost. I've got a typo there. For the marching band practice area, and I will note that the initial BG1, again, that's just a rough estimate. Nothing's been put out to bid, but as we got in further in the project, but the initial BG1 was $328,254. The BG3, which is the statement of probable cost, is $573,627. So as noted previously, though, that's still not going. We're not looking at a general fund expenditure to where we can take that from capital outlay funds, and so it will not come out of general fund.
But it does talk about the structure of the band tower. It talks about the electrical power on site, as well as the conduit and wiring for the sound system. And then that's pretty much it for that BG2. It's pretty light. That initial budget number, so the construction cost was initially about $285,000. If you look at the BG3, we did not have any money in that BG1 for electrical. We also did not have included a pedestrian, I call it a pedestrian bridge, to really get that band tower situated for optimal viewing for the band director. So that wasn't included in the BG1 as well. It is included in the BG3 estimate.
Next item on the agenda is marching band practice area construction documents advertised to receive bids.
So this is the layout of the band practice area. It is striped just like a football field. I believe, what are the overall dimensions, do you recall? 130 deep by, it basically goes from one 20-yard line to the other 20-yard line.
It goes
So
7.5 feet past each 20.
yeah, so you basically are getting over 2/3 of a football field practice area out there.
So this is your band tower, and as Mr. Ford noted earlier, we have a little bit of a unique site condition. So where typically most schools would just have a band tower, we have a band tower and this pedestrian bridge that is allowing you to keep your elevated views at a good eye line for the field, because you have 14 feet of grade change. So we're just kind of getting you up to that height you need to be if you want it to be level with the field, if that makes sense. So the band tower from the ground to the very top is about 58 feet tall, and then that, yeah, very tall.
I'm not in the band.
And then that pedestrian bridge is about 48 feet long, so that's how long it's taking to get you to the band tower from where the practice field is going.
I want to give you a few updates on what's going on at the bus garage and also the field house. This is this morning, so pretty much all the structure's been set. This is the home field house. You can see this is, I think these HVAC units in there, Larry, sitting in there. Is this HVAC units? Yeah. So that HVAC units are here. They're inside the building. We're getting a lot of stuff done on the inside of the building. This is the locker room. The home locker room area is what you're looking at right there. This is the visitors locker room. And you can see from this picture that metal kind of looks black, but it's not black. Because it kind of looks like it in that picture, but
I just want to make some statements before we get in, because we got several construction things to talk about.
This proposal request addresses the additional plumbing for showers and additional plumbing added by the state. So that's not uncommon. When the state reviews plans, they may find things that they want to add, delete, and otherwise. But the original drawing, some significant plumbing was inadvertently left out and thus was never bid. And then again, I've noted here that during plan review, the state made some additional changes that added cost, and of course, the complete proposal request with the breakdowns is attached. Okay, again, so this is one that we've asked them to look at to expand the lighting in the parking lot. So the original bid package did not include that for the expanded parking lot area, and this is one of those areas I've asked them to look at and see what we could come up with. The total cost is $48,101.02, and at the very beginning, this is a deduct of $60,000. Put everything together, but we're still paying out $56,000 for the 1.5 inches of surface, and include the striping, that's a little over $60,000, and still getting a $60,000 deduct for the project. So it's $193,162.34, and we all know there will never be a cheaper time to put air conditioning in a building than when you're building it. The cost is always going to go up. So this is what this proposal request addresses, and I'll let Mr. Cheek address it. It's very similar to how we did the one proposal request number 2 on the time and material, but a good estimate for both of these would be around $20,000 would get them both done. Talking with Scott Murphy and the prices and how many inches of topsoil that we need to put on this practice football field back here. Our current tax rates are as follows: 50.1 cents for real estate, 51.1 cents for tangible personal property, 52.2 cents for motor vehicle and watercraft, and 3% for utilities. So I'm proposing that we reduce the real estate tax rate to 49.9 cents per 100 of assessed value, and that it will include a 0.3 cents to allow for exonerations, and maintain the tangible personal property tax rates at 51.1, motor vehicle watercraft at 52.2, and the utility tax rate at 3%. We have the memorandum of agreement for the grandparent support group. Ms. Sherry Coffey, the Youth Service Center Director, coordinates that with the Lake Cumberland Area Development District, has those meetings. They're great. She does great work with that group. Greene County Board of Education, they are independent testing for our CDL license to operate a school bus. Youth Villages Behavioral Health Services, SAFY for Behavioral Health Services, Adonta Group for Behavioral Health Services, and Helping Others Pursue Excellence or HOPE Behavioral Health Services. Again, those last 4 are ones that we have the mental health agencies that come in and provide services for our students with agreements.
Next item on the agenda is personnel reports.
Shayna Thomas, Russell Springs Elementary School, hired library media specialist. Lindsay Williams, Russell Springs Elementary School, resigned as library media specialist. Angela Jones, Jamestown Elementary School, hired MSD assistant. Cassie Stearns, hired Jamestown Elementary School custodian. Albert Beatty, Salem Elementary School, resigned custodian. Ellie Flanagan, Salem Elementary School, hired instructional assistant. Mr. Beatty is a food service, not custodian there. That's no problem. Angela Robertson, Russell County Middle School, retiring as MSD teacher. James Blake Melton, Russell County Middle School, hired assistant baseball coach. Bobby Emerson, Russell County Middle School, hired exceptional education teacher, LBD. Mackenzie Coffey, Russell County Middle School, hired as the cheer coach. Mackenzie Hadley, Russell County Middle School, hired MSD instructional assistant. Bobby Emerson, Russell County Middle School, hired as the assistant cheer coach. James Anderson, Russell County High School, hired head varsity boys golf coach. Helga Powers, Russell County High School, retiring as food service effective December 12th. Mariah Hensley Lewis, Transportation Department, hired as a substitute bus aide. Lisa Huckleby, Central Office, hired interim special education bookkeeper. Elena Fuentes, Central Office, resigned as the English Language Arts and Family Consultant. Rachel Embry, with Central Office, district-wide position, as they're hired as an English language teacher. Chloe Taylor, Emma Adams, Ruth Rextra, and Brittany Hammond, all hired as district-wide substitute teachers.